Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this envelope punchboard box. Really lovely, easy project. I'm going to do exactly the same, no changes. At the end I will show you some others that I've made. Right, to start off with, the card pieces you're going to be needing. The cardstock that well, it's not cardstock, it's a specialty designer series paper and it's called Year of Cheers, and you get 3 sheets of 4 designs and they're all one-sided designs, so they're all plain white on the other side. You need one piece that's 4 7/8 inches by 4 7/8, which is 12.3 by 12.3 centimetres. You need a piece for the belly band, which measures 5/8 of an inch by 6 inches, which is 1.5 by 15.2 centimetres. And then you'll need some little scraps of paper. The whisper white needs to be approximately 1 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches, which is 4.5 by 4.45 centimetres. A piece of our gold foil, which should measure about 2 inches by 2 inches. Mine's obviously a bit bigger than that, which is 5 by 5 centimetres, and some white glimmer paper, which measures 1 3/4 inches by 2 inches, which is 4.4 by 5 centimetres. I just explained to you what these boxes are. I made these as my thank you gift for my August customers. I used ordinary DSP and it was fine. It was certainly strong enough for a box of this size, and inside each of them had one of these little matchbooks of nail files, which I think is an absolutely super little thing to be able to pop in your handbag so you're never caught out if you break a fingernail. So great as co-worker gifts or thank you gifts, teachers gifts, all sorts. So the first thing we're going to do, and I apologise for those of you that like metric, I have converted them, but I don't know how it works out on the envelope punch board because I've got the one that's in English. I've got the one that's in inches. Right, as I say, I have converted it, but I don't know how it works out with the measurements on the board for metric. So to start off with, you're going to line up at 2 1/4 inches here, and you're going to punch and score. And then you're going to move your paper along to 2 7/8, and you're going to punch and score. And now you're going to go around and do the other 3 sides and just line the pointer up with your score line. This envelope punch board really is a brilliant tool to have. The amount of times it's got me out of a fix when I've made unusual sized birthday cards, and to find that you can do boxes with it too, that's a real bonus. Okay, so I've gone round all sides. Now I'm going to turn this sideways so that I can pop this in and do the corner rounder. Okay, so we don't need the envelope punch board anymore. So we just get rid of our bits. Now before I fold mine, I like to cut my bits. So if you have a look on your square here, I don't know, it may be easier to look at it from this side, you'll find that one side is longer than the other. We need to be working so that we got a long side pointing south. Okay, but working from the right side. Now on this little corner that you have here, you need to cut straight up to that score line and then just take out a tiny little triangle like that. Okay, and then do that on the other side as well. And take out the little triangle. And then you need to turn 180 degrees, so you've got the other large triangle pointing down towards you. And these little squares we're going to cut off altogether. So cut straight up to the next score line, turn 90 degrees and cut up so that that drops off altogether. And the same the other side, cut straight to the score line, turn 90 degrees, cut up to the score line again, and that will drop off. Right, now we can fold, and we can use the bone folder because this is like cardstock. I wouldn't recommend that you use your bone folder on the DSP. One, because I don't think you need it because your fingers can give it enough pressure, but also if you go too hard on DSP it can actually split the paper. So don't forget the little tabs. There we go. Now you can use fast fuse, Tombow, and our tearing tape here, but I'm going to use my red sticky strip. I do prefer it, but also it makes it easier for you to see where I'm actually putting it. So first of all I'm going to start with the right side facing me, and I've got my little tabs facing south again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of tape on that tab, a little bit of tape on that tab. Now with my two red strips here, I now need to work on this, but I need to work on the inside. So just turn it over, okay, check that you've got the right side, and we're going to put some tape up here, but you don't want to go right to the top and you don't want to go right to the bottom. So if you go from about there, just on that straight line down the side, where this comes round the corner, then just don't take your tape that far down. And the same on this side. Okay, so that's all the tape we need. I'll just run my fingernail over it, just make sure it's adhered down nicely. And I'll use my paper piercer to remove the two little bits off of the tabs. There we go. And then I'm going to stick that tab inside here, and I'm going to make sure as I line it up that is going to form a really good straight corner, good 90-degree corner there. Okay, I'll use my fingers on the inside to push the tab down. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. Make sure that comes to a really good square corner. So, and then I'm going to take these two off. go. Now what I'm going to do is, I've left one of these in its cellophane because it helps to make it a bit bigger, so that when I put that in to close this, it helps to form the actual box properly. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm looking at this, I'm making sure that this is forming 90 degrees here, and I make sure that's 90 degrees as well. So what I do is, with my thumbs, I'm pushing this bit up, but I'm not pushing it down on there yet, but I'm using my 2 index fingers to make sure that each side is forming that 90 degrees on the sides. And then when I'm happy, I can use my thumbs to push the flap up. In fact, that looks like it's going in a bit. Let's try that one again. That's better. Yep, much happier with that. Okay, so we take that out, and there's our box. Okay, nice and easy. Right, now we need to make the belly band. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. You can just take your belly band and fold it gently like that, and then take it away, fold it properly on where the creases are. But me personally, I find it a bit of a hit and miss. I've seen loads and loads of people doing it, just folding it, and they have done it perfectly and it works beautifully. But mine is either too tight or far too loose. So I worked out where I need to score it. Okay, so with my scoreboard, I am going to score this. I will give you the inches and the centimetres. I assume they'll work out more or less the same size. But you may, if you're doing metric, you may want to try this just with ordinary paper before you actually work on your DSP. Right, okay, so the first one is at 1 3/8 inches, which is 3.4 centimetres. And then 1 7/8 inches, which is 4.6 centimetres. And then 4 1/4 inches, which is 10.7 centimetres. And then 4 3/4 inches, which is 11.9 centimetres. Now this will be, it won't fit, let's put it like this, it won't fit as snugly as it would do if you just folded it over. But I find that I just get better results this way. Maybe I just need a bit more practice. Right, let me just put one of these in here. This is the one that's out of the bag. Right, let's fit this on. Right, now if I adhere it down like that, can you, yes, you can see that it's not fitting really tight and snug. By the time I've finished with it, it will fit tightly enough so that it won't fall off, but it won't be as snug as if you had just gently folded it around. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this with a red sticky strip. Again, use whatever your preferred glue is. There we go. Right, what I tend to do to work out how tight or how loose to do this is I hold my box with the open end, because that, if you hold it like that, it stops the box from moving, whereas if you hold it this side, you get movement like that. Okay, so hold it on the opening side. And now I'm going to pop that on there, remembering that I've got my sticky bit on the top here. And I'm making sure that my folds are going onto the folds in my box. I'm making sure that my two sides are lining up here, down this side and down that side. And there we go, we've got a nice loosish belly band. As I say, you can still see there's quite a gap at the back there. Yes, you can see that. Okay, but you need a bit of room. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the die cutting. I need a circle with that, and my two snowflakes. So let me tell you the dies I'm going to be using for this. For my snowflakes, I'm going to be using one each of those, and this is from Seasonal Tags. This is in the new Christmas catalogue, or autumn winter catalogue. For the white circle, I'm using our stitch shaped framelits, and I'm using the smallest circle. So that's that one. And for the gold, I am using the No. 3 straight cut die. If you're new to my videos, I always start counting mine from the smallest. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's that. So if we move those over, I'll get my big shot up. That's it, make sure you can see it. Not sure where that was from. Right, so we'll have a gold circle, and a white circle, and the Glimmer paper with the snowflakes. Obviously those two are going to go through with just once. These, they will go through with just two, go through and back again, but it does take a little bit to get them to come away from the Glimmer paper. But to make it really, really easy, if you do it 4 times, it works a treat. So let's do this one first. Okay, so that's the white circle, the gold circle, and for these I am just changing the position as well. That always helps when you're cutting more involved dies. Now let me just check. But no, look, I'm going to show you what it's like if you only put it through twice. Okay. Chancing my luck a bit here on a video, but here we go. Right, this is this one. Okay, so it comes off and it's all cut properly at the back, but it is just a little bit of an effort to do it. And this one's a bigger effort, but it will come away. If you find your machine won't let it come away, you can always just put your die back on top of it. You will feel as it sort of clicks back into position. and then you can crank it through again. Okay, now just to get these little bits out, there's 1, 2, 3. Can't really see them from that side. Let's turn it over. Okay, so as you can see, it does still work with the 2, but it would be a lot easier on the if you did it 4 times. And that's pulled a bit of the plastic off with it, but that's okay. So there we go. So I recommend you do it 4 times, but twice would be enough. Right, so to adhere all of these together, I'm going to use Tombow now. Again, you could use anything you like here, like fast fuse, tear and tape, not snail though. The thing is with using Tombow on something like this, going onto the foil, it does slide about very, very easily. So what I do is I position this half first, and then I get my fingers down on it to hold it before I let that bit go down. Okay, so I line it up, I'm happy. So now I'm going to put my fingers on there, and that's going to stop it from moving while I give this a press down to make sure it all adheres. Now if I wanted to, I could push that to the side quite easily, but obviously I don't want to do that. So how did I stick these down? I think this one I put down with Tombow. So I'm just going to, oh that's too much. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do, if I push that down, that's going to come oozing all out everywhere. So I've got a piece of kitchen roll here, so I just blot off the most of it. Work out where the centre of that is. Now, did I use Tombow for that? Or did I use... There's no telling now, is there? I'm going to use Tombow. You could use glue dots. In fact, it would have been glue dots, wouldn't it? Because... oh well. Right, when you're sticking something onto glimmer paper, although Tombow will work, it needs a bit of pressure on it to hold it down. So what I'll do is, since how I've already got the Tombow on it, I'm going to put a glue dot in the centre there. And I'm positioning this so that these spikes go in between the big spikes around here. That looks right. Okay, so I'm pushing down on my glue dot there. I'll also give it an all over, so gradually the Tombow will stick as well. And then on top of that I put one of these little, I think we're calling these metallic enamel something. You get gold and silver foil. Obviously I'm going to use the gold, and because this is a gift for somebody, I'm going to put a little heart on it. So just slide your paper piercer underneath it and then position it in the centre. and then we just need it to pop on here. Now the other thing I recommend with the belly band is that I recommend that you put this at the back. I know that that's visible, but if you were bothered about it, you could always just maybe cut a circle of this and put it on there. But what I find is, because there's that little bit there where it's overlapping, I sometimes find that that catches on here as you're sliding the belly band on. So it's obviously a lot easier to do it that way. There we go. Now you can either put this on with Tombow, Fast Fuse, whatever. As I'm using red sticky strip, I think I'm going to carry on with it. And I'm just going to put a strip on here. Not too far, because I don't want it coming above or below. There we go. Which is my top. That's the top. Don't want my heart to go upside down. So I'm just going to pop that so it's straight. Not quite, but that'll be alright. So there we go. There's the one that I showed you to start with. That's the one that I've just made. Lovely, lovely, easy project, but really quite impressive. And these are the other ones that I've made. That one, I've used the same DSP all the time. And this one is the tag where you've got a snowman front and back, so you can tie it as a gift tag. So I cut the back off and put it on the back of the box. And two more. And these were other snowflakes. That was two the same. And this was a stamped one. This was stamped from the Cheers to the Year stamp set, which is obviously the same as the DSP that we've been using. Cheers to the Year. Okay, so there we go. Lovely project. Hope you give it a try. As I say, superb for little gifts for co-workers, for teachers' gifts, just for your neighbour, anybody. Beautiful. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. If you'd like to purchase any of the products featured here today, you'll find a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. Also in the box below, I will put all the products that I've used and all the measurements and where you need to do your score lines and everything. And if you've enjoyed my video and you would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, which is normally Wednesdays and Sundays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you feel like giving me a thumbs up, that'd be appreciated. Many thanks. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.